Has Brian Kelly's first season at LSU already been a success? I think so. No. I know so. You and I both know LSU are going in the right direction. You and I both know LSU have really top-tier 2023 and 2024 classes coming in. You and I don't see LSU, dropping horrible games except for ones where our special teams are coughing the game up. You don't see our program losing recruits at the 11th hour in embarrassing fashion like we have the last few years. You didn't see Texas A&M outbid us for Sheldon Sampson Jr. or Kylan Jackson. Trey Holly, Caleb Jackson. You didn't see any of these local superstars leave the program, did you? You didn't see them leave the state, did you? Under a first-year head coach from northeastern Massachusetts. What does that say to you? It says that LSU is back. And I understand that this is a new LSU under Brian Kelly. Yeah, it might be. It might be as far as off the field, discipline, For example, Brian Kelly, is he going to really care if his guys smoke weed? Probably not, especially since it's legalized in the state of Louisiana. Is Brian Kelly going to come down hard on you if you're completely skipping classes and completely being a fool, and maybe you have some domestic issue with your girlfriend, and you put hands on a woman or something like that? You're out of here. And that's the thing that Brian Kelly, I love that he's understood, is okay, I'm not going to come in here and demand everyone to be, Catholic schoolboys like we're at Notre Dame or have some huge honor code like BYU. But he still recognized he had to fix the culture. Graduate Champions was the first stone in that, first brick in that wall. Go Tigers was gone, Graduate Champions was in. And that's how it had to be for a while, because LSU had to figure out not only their identity again, but who is going to fit that identity. They had to really go through a large group of players. Who's going to stand the test of this gauntlet? How many of these guys are going to stick around? How many of these guys are going to wilt within the pressure of Brian Kelly's raised standards? You saw a lot of random players, especially some guys on that 2019 team, fade away and leave the team. Sonny Fanua, Miles Brennan, Ray Darius Jones hasn't left the team but suspended. And so I just feel like when you look at this program and where it's going, top to bottom organization, current players, the veterans we have on this team who can help us guide through the next few games to end the season on the right way, in the right way. But then what really excites me is that you got sophomores who are ready to lead. You got Jack Besh, Malik Neighbors, Sage Ryan, Makai Wingo up front. Yeah, that's right. That dude's only a sophomore. It's crazy. You've got a vast array of sophomore offensive linemen. Garrett Dellinger. And then you got these freshmen. Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Mason Taylor, Bo Bordelon, Walker effing Howard. Program quarterback right there. You just gotta love what you you see from LSU. Because even when people were taking LSU's talent and their depth lightly this year, which, may be understandable, LSU still proved them wrong on that accord. Because there's no way in hell anyone thought LSU in 1 week of this season would have the SEC Offensive Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, and Freshman of the Week all in the same game, while beating a top 10 team. Not just beating a top 10 team, nuking a top 10 team. Nuking an arrogant, Boosie-stealing Lane Kiffin. Nuking him. So, when you really look at what Brian Kelly's been doing here at LSU, just in like 9-10 months, I guess it's almost a year that he's been in the job now, so maybe 10 months, 11 months. I see so much growth. But not only that, what really interests me is that I see a lot of hearkening for the past. A lot of hey, this used to be LSU defense. Hey, this used to be how LSU used to dominate teams. We're going to do that again. Hey, this is how LSU receivers, this is how LSU... There's such a hearkening back to the past and wanting to be great like those championship teams, whether it's 2019, 2004, 2007, 2011, even though we didn't win it all, that team was still one of the best ever. So, there seems to be this deep respect and almost like an homage, a tribute to the past and wanting to get back there. And that's really what excites me about Brian Kelly, is that he understands where LSU has been. He understands where he's gone. But now it's about where combining those two elements, where they're going to go. And from what we've seen this year, it hasn't always been perfect. It hasn't always been pretty, which is a lot of the symptom of the players and the roster that LSU are left with. More like the depth that we're left with, because our first 22 are pretty damn good. But when, the receivers haven't been anywhere near what we thought they would be, numbers-wise, because of the quarterback, because of the style of play. Our offensive line has been shaky at times. Our special teams has been god-awful. There's been a few games where we didn't even have a running game, it seemed. We barely even have enough healthy running backs to fill a roster. But in every single game outside of Tennessee, LSU fought like hard for 4 quarters. Battled, did anything, kicked and screamed and dragged their feet until they could win. And here's the thing. Outside of a missed PAT against Florida State, LSU could literally be 7-1 right now. About to face Bama 7-1. But you know what? We'll take 6-2 because it's all the same. LSU beat Alabama. We're going to the SEC championship game. And we might be going to the college football playoff in Brian Kelly's first season in charge. Now, I know that no one is still going to believe that. But you better start believing now. You better start, making sure that when that becomes a reality, you're not too shocked. You're not filling your pants up. Because here's the thing I'm going to tell you right now. If it doesn't happen this season, it's going to happen next season. Because this team are already way ahead of schedule. And they just keep getting better, too. And you know what also? They have found different ways to win. Different ways to win games. They passed all over Florida. They ran it down Ole Miss's throat. They use their defense and turnovers against Mississippi State. The amount of comebacks, too. The amount of comebacks this season has been insane. Double-digit comebacks. Double-digit comeback against Florida State. Wasn't successful in the end, but it's still a double-digit comeback. Double-digit comeback against Mississippi State. Win by double digits as well. Double-digit comeback against Auburn. Double-digit comeback against, not double-digit comeback against Florida, but come back from 7 points. Double-digit comeback against Ole Miss. If you were to write the script, this still wouldn't pass the smell test. This still would be like, no, that would never happen. Can it happen? Can Brian Kelly take LSU to a college football playoff in year 1? Well, game by game, it's looking more like a reality. All those people who are saying my 9-3 pick was being a homer, they were idiots. I wasn't picking 9-3 because I believed LSU were gods among men. I believe that SEC was going to be weaker this year, and I believe that Brian Kelly actually had a better team than people thought. In combination, that equals a 9-3 season, especially when you look at LSU's schedule. I'm excited. People. This has already been a crazy season, and it's about to get even wilder. This next game against Alabama is going to have more hype to it than LeBron James coming out of high school. It's going to be crazy, people.